This video is brought to you by Spigen. Today we're looking at the first 20 things that you should do if you've just got your brand new Google Pixel 9. Now these tips and tricks are going to help unlock new features, improve performance, save battery life, and extend your battery health, and all combined to make your experience using your Pixel phone even better. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing we're going to look at is enabling the 120Hz refresh rate, as by default, for whatever reason, this is actually off on the Pixel 9. So to enable that really smooth display and smooth animations on screen, you're going to want to make sure to change this setting. So what we're going to do is tap onto settings, and then we'll scroll to where we find display. And then we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. And then here at the bottom, we have the smooth display option. And you want to make sure that that is turned on. That's going to enable the 120Hz refresh rate, giving you those super fluid and smooth animations, whether you're scrolling or switching between apps. Next, I want to show you a few really useful multitasking tips and tricks. So first, to start multitasking, what you want to do is when you have an app open is hold and press to get to the app switcher menu like you see here. And then what you're going to want to do is tap on the app icon here in the top. And then we're going to tap onto split screen. And that's going to divide the screen in two. And then it's going to prompt me to choose a second application to have open. So I've got photos, and let's say we're going to add Chrome here. So we'll be browsing the web while we are browsing our photos. So as you can see, we're now running two apps at once. And you can also press and hold this little bar in the middle to assign more screen space either to one window over the other. And another neat feature is if you double tap this, you'll also be able to quickly rotate and swap the app. So this here is really useful if, say, you want to take notes while you are browsing the web, or say you may have a YouTube video in the top half and you're maybe messaging someone in the bottom half. So super useful to do. And then if you want to dismiss that or basically switch to using one application, simply swipe the other app off the screen, and now you're running that one application in full screen mode once again. Let's say you're in a specific application, like for example, the web browser here, and you want to hand your phone off to your friend or maybe your child, and you don't want them to be able to go through your phone and just stay in this one app. Well, there is a way to actually lock an application within your phone, but you first have to enable this feature in the settings. So to do that, we're going to jump into the settings app here. And then we're going to scroll down to where we find security. So that would be right there, security and privacy. And then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to scroll to more security and privacy here at the bottom. And then scroll once again all the way to the bottom. And then here we have app pinning, and you're going to want to make sure that that is turned on. And then you also want to make sure that it will ask for your PIN. In other words, the code you use to unlock your phone before an application will be unlocked again. So with both these features on, we now have the ability to lock an app. And let me show you how this is done. So let's go back into our Chrome window. There we go. And then what we're going to do is go into the same app switcher menu and tap on the icon like we did before with split screen multitasking. Although now we also have the option here to pin this application. So let's go ahead and tap on pin. And as you can see, the app is now pinned, and it will give you this little prompt as well. And you can see that I can freely scroll through this application, but what I can't do is swipe home or even see things like my notifications or my system toggles. I'm essentially locked to just using this application. And if I try to go home, as you can see, it's not going to work. Now, to unpin an application, what you have to do is swipe from the bottom and then hold. And then as you can see, your passcode will come up. Try that one more time. There we go. And as you can see, the phone will then lock, and then you either have to use your fingerprint or enter in your passcode to unlock the phone once again. There we go. And as you can see, now the app has been unpinned and we can swipe home again like normal. Next, I want to show you some cool tips and tricks with the lock screen customization, specifically the clock. So to do this, what we're going to do is go into settings, and then we're going to go back here to the main page, and we're going to tap onto wallpaper and style. And then from here, we're going to click on the lock screen. And here, what you can do is actually change the style of the clock here by simply swiping from the left and right, kind of like a watch face, say on the Pixel Watch. And then once you've chosen one, you can actually customize this further. So let's say we like this one, we can tap on clock color and size. We can change the color. We can also change the size as well, make it larger or smaller. So you want to see more of your wallpaper or more of the clock as well. So really nice way to customize your home screen, or rather your lock screen, and really make it feel like your own. And then just beneath that, one other useful feature I want to show you here is the ability to change your shortcuts, as by default, this will be set to Google Home, and then we have a little home icon here at the bottom, but you can see I've actually customized mine to be the torch as well as the mute toggle. So I think these are much more useful. And to do this, we want to tap on shortcuts here in that same menu. And then here, we're going to be able to assign both the left shortcut as well as the right shortcut. And you can see here, we have a wide range of options to choose from. Personally, I've got the flashlight, and as I said, the mute toggle there as well. And you can also have either one of them, or you can have none if you like as well. And kind of on the same theme of customizing your phone here, let me show you how to set the themed icon. So if we go back to the same menu here in the wallpaper and style menu in settings, we'll tap onto home screen here in the top right. And we can actually scroll down to where we find themed icons. So let's go ahead and turn that on and let me show you what this looks like. As you can see, all of my icons have now completely changed to sort of match the color palette of my wallpaper. Now, the only downside here is it won't work with all applications. You can see most do. Over here on my second page, the Minecraft icon, for example, that doesn't work, unfortunately, but the vast majority do. So this definitely gives you a unique look to your phone. However, it can be a little bit harder to find, say, a specific application because they all look very similar. So you can also, of course, turn this off like so, and then you're back to your normal icons if you like. All right, now I want to take you through some really useful battery settings and tips and tricks. And first, we're going to take a look at adaptive charging, as this is a really good way to help prolong your battery health and ultimately help your phone last longer. Now, there is something that you want to activate here in the settings. So first, we're going to go into settings, and then we're going to tap on battery. And then from there, we're going to scroll to where we find adaptive charging, and you want to make sure that this is turned on. Now, let me briefly explain what this does. Now, essentially, adaptive charging is going to keep track of how you typically charge your phone and then basically prolong that charging process and slower the charge speed to help make your battery last longer. So for example, let's say you go to bed at 11 p.m., you plug in your phone at 11, it's then first going to charge from 0% up to 80% and then wait with the remaining 20% till typically when you normally wake up and unplug your phone, let's say at 7 a.m. So it's going to prolong that charge. Again, it's not going to charge as fast, it's going to produce less heat and less wear on the battery, and also means that your battery is going to help last longer while still giving you full capacity, the full 100% capacity of your battery. But let's say you want to get some information on how your battery is performing now. In other words, to see how many cycles it has been through, as this is going to determine how much your battery health has degraded and how much you have left. So to check the battery cycle count, what you want to do here is go back to the main page of settings. Then we're going to scroll all the way down to where we find about phone at the bottom. And then we're going to scroll all the way down once again. And then here we're going to find battery information. You want to tap on that. And then here we have cycle count. And as you can see, mine here is at 2. Now, if you've just bought your phone like I have, you want to make sure that this is relatively low. As of course, having a higher cycle count on a new phone, that would not be good. That means you don't have a good battery and you may want to have it checked or returned. And of course, if you are buying a phone used, having a battery count with a lower cycle is going to be better. Now, how many cycles does a battery last? Well, this will of course vary depending on your usage. Other things like your ambient temperature in the area of the world that you live also plays a big role, and also how you use your phone. But normally speaking, you can expect a battery for a smartphone to last around 500 or so, 500 to 800 cycles before you start to see the battery health degrade below 80%. And that's usually the point where you want to think about replacing your battery, as this is where your battery life is really going to suffer, and you may even have uninterrupted shutdowns, for example, where the battery just can't sustain the voltage. So that's something to bear in mind. So checking your cycle count, again, every once in a while, I think is good, especially if your battery isn't working as it should, or if you are picking up a phone used. Now, most of what we're going to be looking at today will be software related, but I do have one really essential hardware tip, and that is to protect your new Pixel 9 and Pixel accessories. And this is where Spigen's cases and accessories come in, certified, made for Google products for a guaranteed perfect fit. First up, you can't go wrong with the classic tough armor case, packing a dual-layer build with air cushion technology to offer military-grade drop protection in a slim design, and I especially like the handy built-in kickstand. And then for a sleek, more stealthy look, there's this, the rugged armor case, protecting from day-to-day wear with a touch of carbon fiber detailing and extra grip along the sides. Then to stand up from the crowd, there is the signature Ultra Hybrid 01 case, showing a precise schematic of the inside of your Pixel 9, all while not compromising on military-grade protection. Attached to my 01 case is the one-tap ring MagFit adapter, and this essentially brings MagSafe functionality to your Pixel 9. Perfect for attaching accessories like the Smart Fold 2 MagFit card wallet. It can hold up to 3 cards and has a kickstand for portrait and landscape viewing. Then for full 360-degree protection, you want to apply the Glass TR EaseFit and Glass TR EaseFit Optic tempered glass screen protector, as well as camera lens protector. They're super easy to install in just 3 steps. The 9H hardness and oleophobic coating help keep your screen and camera safe from scratches as well as smudges. But of course, your Pixel Watch 3 deserves just as much protection as your Pixel 9. So be sure to add the Rugged Armor Pro. This is a 2-in-1 case and band combo, providing all-round shock resistance while being super comfortable on the wrist. So to upgrade your Pixel 9 as well as Pixel accessories with Spigen, be sure to check out the links in the description. Now, something really cool about Pixel phones is that they actually come with a free VPN built in. Now, this is exclusive for Pixel users. First, let me show you how to activate this. So in settings, what you're going to want to do is tap on network and internet. And then here, we're going to scroll to where we find VPN. And then you want to tap on VPN by Google. This comes built in and again is free for Pixel users. Then we're going to just tap on more here. Then we're going to click on use VPN. Allow those notifications, and as you can see, the VPN is connecting now, and this is essentially going to mask your IP address to help protect your privacy online. It's really cool to offer this, to see Google offer this feature for free for Pixel users, and this is how you activate it. Next, I want to show you a handy feature within the built-in weather app. So first, let's launch the weather app here. So we'll go ahead and search for that. This should come pre-installed on your phone. You want to tap on that here. And as you can see, it's going to have your location here. And what I find really useful is we actually now have an AI weather report here. So this is going to be 1 or 2 lines of text right within the weather application to give you a preview of your day. So it's really useful. I actually find myself reading this more often than I would be scrolling through this whole page of information, as this little AI section gives me the most important information right before I head out the door to know if I need to bring an umbrella, for example. What is also cool is here in the weather application, you have all these cool little widgets beneath the bottom. And what you can actually do is tap and drag these. You can actually rearrange them. So have your more important ones towards the top and then ones that you check less towards the bottom to help you customize the application. All right, this next one here is simple, but this is really going to be useful in the longer run, and that is to give your phone a name. Now, this is going to make it much easier to find from, say, another device or to connect to via Bluetooth to know that this is your Pixel phone rather than just any Pixel phone. Also good from a security and privacy standpoint. That way you make sure you're connecting to your phone and that others don't connect to your phone as well. So what we're going to do is go into the settings application here, scroll all the way down to where we find About Phone, and then here we have device name. You want to simply tap on that, and then instead of naming it Pixel 9, let's go ahead and call it here Dion's Pixel 9. And there we go, much better. And I want to talk about customizing the navigation bar. Now, this is something that I recommend to all Android users, whether you're a Galaxy user or a Pixel user. Switching to the swipe gestures is such a great thing to do, in my opinion. Briefly, let me explain why. First of all, it makes it much easier to swipe home. Secondly, you can also really quickly swipe between other applications like so, as you can see, right from the navigation bar at the bottom. And then thirdly, it doesn't take up any screen space, right? You just have this little bar here, as opposed to having those buttons on screen. So I know many Android users really enjoy having those buttons. You may be used to it from older Android phones, but I really encourage you to try the swipe gestures for the navigation, as this really is the better way to go, in my opinion. So let me show you how to change this. Over in settings, what you want to do is you want to scroll to where we find display. And then from here, we're going to scroll down to where we find navigation mode. And then instead of that 3-button navigation that we see here and that you may have by default, we're going to switch to those swipe gestures. Again, super easy to switch between your apps. Simply swipe home and it doesn't take up any screen space. Another reason to set up these swipe gestures is it's actually going to enable this next feature that I want to look at, and that is how to get instant AI access on your phone. So again, for this, you will need to make sure that you have your navigation gesture set as opposed to using the buttons. And what you want to do here is in the same settings menu, we're going to tap on the settings icon here, and then you want to turn on swipe to invoke assistant. And this is going to allow you to swipe from either corner of the display to instantly bring up Gemini, right? Which is Google's AI assistant. So let's say I'm in an application, let's say I'm in Photos here, I can simply swipe up from the bottom. And as you can see, that's then going to bring up Gemini to quickly give me access to AI with just one swipe. Is pineapple on pizza good? See, I was hoping for an answer here from Gemini, but let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. So the Pixel 9 launched with a bunch of AI features, and I now want to show you some of the most noteworthy ones. And the first is you have the ability to create any image on your phone with AI. And with this, we're going to open the application called Pixel Studio app. Now this will come pre-installed on your phone, so you just want to search for it here. There it is, Pixel Studio. And then in here, what we're going to be able to do is generate any image just based off a few keywords. So let me give you a quick example here. We're going to tap on create, and let's say dog on skateboard. There we go. We're going to tap the check mark here and just give this a second to load. It actually generates the image surprisingly fast, only takes a couple of seconds. And there we go. We now have a completely generated image by AI right on your phone. We can also refresh it here to get another example if we like. We're not happy with this first one, but it really works quite well. Of course, there are some limitations, but in general, I find it does a pretty good job generating really shockingly realistic images that you give it the prompt for. Now, how useful is this? How often are you going to use this? I think that'll really vary, but it's definitely a fun feature to have. Now, an AI feature that I definitely use more often is the ability to reimagine parts of an image. So this is really cool. So right here, as you can see, I've got a picture of a skyline, and let's say I want to reimagine this sky. So what I'm going to do is tap on edit. And then we're going to tap the little AI button here, which you find on the bottom left. And then we're going to select the sky, so the area that we want to reimagine. So very roughly here with your finger, you don't have to be very precise with this. We're just going to outline the sky here. And as you can see, it's done a great job at masking the sky. And then what we're going to do is tap on Reimagine here in the bottom right. And this will allow us to essentially type in any keyword. So I could add really anything I want. Let's say, for example, a sunset. I think that's going to look really nice on this image. So let's give this a second and see what it generates. And there we go. As you can see here, we have multiple examples here. It gives us a few different ones to choose from. Not bad in the sense that it definitely got a sunset, and it also did, again, a pretty good job masking out the buildings. The only thing it didn't take into account is the position from which I took the photo. I took this looking straight up, and I think this assumes I'm looking forward. So you can see that the sunset doesn't align perfectly here, but it's not a bad example. In fact, here, let me show you one more. And here we go. So here we have a storm. This definitely looks very apocalyptic here. So you can definitely play around with this. And as you can see, you can generate or rather reimagine any part of the image, not just the sky, but for example, things that may be in the background as well, or the color of the floor. Let your imagination run wild. This feature is definitely fun to play around with. And then probably one of the most useful AI features that I use almost every day on my phone at some point is circle to search. And this is going to allow you to essentially search anything that's on your screen, whether it be in a video or in a photo. So for example, here I have a picture of a Lego set. And to activate circle to search, what you want to do is press and hold on the bar here at the bottom. And as you can see, the screen will sort of turn into this almost glitter-like icon. You get the little Google search bar at the bottom here. And what you want to do then is use your finger to circle basically anything on screen. And as you can see, it's not going to instantly look that up and give you Google search results for what you have looked up. And here in this case, as you can see, it gives very accurate results, links to that exact Google set, as that Lego set, as well as the prices too. So really useful feature, even if, for example, you're watching a video and they may be showing a product that you want to know more about, or an ingredient, food icon, anything like that. This really works shockingly well. And again, it's super useful to have built in right to your Pixel. So earlier we looked at a great way to help preserve your battery health, but now let's take a look at saving battery life. And one of the best ways to do that is to limit the notifications that you have coming in on your phone. So to do this, we're going to jump into the settings app here, and then we're going to go back to the main page. There we go. And then we're going to tap onto notifications, then tap on app notifications. And then here, instead of going to all recent, you want to make sure that you select all applications to get a full comprehensive list of all of your applications. And what I really encourage you to do is to swipe through all of them and turn on or off the things that you do or don't want to send you notifications. Now, this is really important, of course, first and foremost for your battery, as every time you get a notification, your phone is going to vibrate, your screen is going to turn on, and potentially your speaker is going to make a noise too. Now, if you're getting dozens, possibly 100 plus notifications per day, this really adds up and is going to eat a lot of battery life. And then secondly, it's also good for your mental health because you're going to be bothered less throughout the day, right? This way you want to make sure that any notification coming in is from an application that you find important. This way you know that when your phone goes off, it is worth checking and not some shopping application reminding you that you have items in your basket. Next, I want to show you how to add more applications to your home screen. So to do this, we're going to go into settings, and then we're going to tap onto wallpaper and style. And then from here, we're going to tap onto the home screen, and then we're going to scroll down to where we find app grid, and then tap on this little hash icon. And here we can actually change the grid size. We can make it smaller to allow fewer applications, but then have larger icons to make it more visible to see. So you can see here, if I make it very small, 2 by 2, you'll see that I have very few icons on the screen if it goes ahead and loads. There we go. As you can see, super easy to find those icons. But then of course you can also make it smaller, and this will allow you to have more more icons on screen at a time, which I think is really useful. And then the 4x5 is going to be the default. Another area I really encourage you to customize is your system toggle. So to do this, we're going to swipe down from the top right and then swipe once more. And then here we have the system toggle menu. Then we're going to tap on this little pencil icon that we see here. And this is going to be divided now into 2 sections. So first, this upper half section is going to be the toggles that you have pre-installed already. And then beneath that, we have toggles that you can add. So some of the ones that I recommend adding are going to be, for example, your hotspot. So simply want to drag that and move it in. Another one that I think is really useful would be, for example, one-handed mode. This is great for the keyboard, a feature you may use more often. And what I also encourage you to do is when you take a look at the toggles that you have, is to arrange them in a way that the most used icons or toggles are going to be at the top, or these are going to be most easily accessible when you swipe down from your system toggle. So for example, let's say I want my hotspot to be higher up. I can simply move that up. And there we go, have it now right next to my Bluetooth and flashlight. And if we go ahead and swipe home, there we go. As you can see, it's going to be super easy to access right from the system toggles menu. And this here is a really useful security as well as privacy tip, and that is to do a security and privacy scan on your phone every once in a while. So to do this, we're going to go into settings, and then we're going to scroll down to where we find security and privacy. And right here, as you can see, we're going to have the ability to scan the device. And this is automatically going to go through all of your applications, your settings, your accounts, and check for things like malware, leaks, or even other vulnerabilities. And if it does find some, it's going to automatically prompt you to take action if it needs to do that. We're giving you recommendations as you go. And if you go ahead and scan it, it's going to take just about 1 to 3 minutes to do. And I recommend you do this every once in a while, particularly if, say, your phone is acting up, if it is slower or not acting as it should, then going through a security and privacy scan is something I really recommend. And there you have it. Let me know if you have any questions at all. As always, I will leave the purchase links down in the description. And if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you check out my Pixel 9 review video, which I'll leave linked on screen right now. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.